Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Soul Cafe Podcast. This is your host, Jonathan Blake
And
Vasquez.
Mariana Manrique.
And we always got a special topic for you guys. We're back at it again. And this is gonna get every time it's gonna get juicier and juicier. So we actually did a Q&A on my Instagram and we asked like, hey guys, what topics would you like us to talk about and discuss? And a lot of suggestions came in, which we will cover future podcasts as well. But this one we picked particular for this podcast, this episode, and we're gonna talk about healthy boundaries in relationships. So yeah, this is a big topic going on right now. Specifically like romantic relationships, friendships, whatever type of relationships it is.
For real.
I think this can help a lot in setting these healthy boundaries. I'm gonna bring Mariana in this one because she likes this stuff. This is like her cup of tea, not literally, but figuratively. So Mariana, what are your healthy boundaries in a relationship?
Oh, for me, it's important to, bueno, no, of course, knowing myself, like, tells people, like, the limits of couple of actions they can do, you know what I mean? Like, for example, I'm pretty bad. I taken it pretty bad when people is trying to hug me longer than I want it. You hug me and I try to get out and you keep hugging me. I'm start getting like issues. Makes me feel like bad. So I'm always trying to communicate that type of things, just for making more like a physical boundary, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But also
Yeah.
I have my emotional boundaries, like couple
So
stuff
so
I
there's
don't like.
different type of
Yeah,
boundaries.
I think it's for everybody. It's different.
Emotional, physical,
Yeah.
mental, psychological boundaries. I don't know.
I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure if that's the good name for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
I feel like it's different type of boundaries and depends of yourself. So I think first thing for having a good boundaries with your couple, with your friend, or in your like work or something is knowing yourself. Like knowing,
yeah,
you
knowing
know, how
yourself for
far
sure.
you can go and how far the other person can,
Yeah, exactly.
approach to you.
Like one of the boundaries I have with Mariana, for instance, is like I don't like when she slaps my butt, my ass. Like
He
I
doesn't.
know it's juicy and everything, and you want to hit it,
Tranquila.
but I just don't like it. I'm like I feel violated. I'm like damn.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it feels pretty bad.
girl, you gotta stop doing
And
that.
I'm like,
you know,
why?
they don't like this shit. I feel I guess less masculine or something. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. No, but
Issues.
I just don't like it. Okay, I just don't like it.
Issues
Period.
of the childhood.
What? No. But no, I don't. That's one of the boundaries that I have, and I communicated that with her.
No, for real. And I think I gotta understand.
Yeah, sometimes
Maybe
she
for
be slipping up, but I be putting her back in check.
But maybe for somebody else it's not gonna be an issue. But if for you an issue, you gotta communicate that in a good
Yeah,
way.
maybe you might like that. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Who
Who knows
knows?
what do you like and what you don't like? But
Exactly.
you gotta know yourself for putting that boundaries. Like for me, for example, I don't like harsh words. Like when we having a discussion or just for fun. I don't like when people use rude words
Mhm.
to me. For
Like
me, it's like Like, I don't
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like because I will not use it with you. You know what I mean? I always try to get in the respect. Like we gotta respect each other,
Yeah.
and that's another boundary for me. Like it's non-negotiable. You know what I mean?
For sure. How can you know the difference between a boundary and like somebody controlling you, like with the, or control? What is the difference between boundary and control?
I don't know. I think a boundary I can understand if you explain to me why you don't like. You have to have like how can I call it, like experience or like a background or like a something like in the back of that of why you don't like that. Or even if you just don't like that, but you gotta like explain the other person like look at like that I don't really like this, and have like a logic, like
Yeah, yeah.
it's logical, and it's like okay, even if it's not logical for me, but if it's for you, I
Yeah.
understand that. But I think controlling is more like it doesn't have any sense, you know. Like for me, it doesn't have sense if you're telling me like, I don't want you to go out. I don't know
Yeah.
with that skirt. Like so why? And you telling me if you try to make it logical, but it doesn't make sense for me, and I have my own reasons, I will be like maybe you try to controlling me. But it's like
Yeah. It's a thin boundary that
depends. Yeah,
I see that I can see where like it can get easily to the control but it's you thinking it's a boundary like it's easy it's like right there baby
yeah,
you know what I'm saying
yeah.
right
You
there
can easily jump to the other
yeah
side.
and
Yeah.
not that hard. Okay, well, what is a healthy way to like I guess establish boundaries with your partner or with your friend whoever like
Talking,
hmm
having communication, like please talk. Like the other people never is gonna know that hurts you if you never say it.
yeah you gotta
So
be honest as fuck you can't
yeah.
but you gotta be like don't be like fucking cutthroat be like look bitch stop hitting me on my
Hey,
ass.
now I remember once you put a boundary in one of your friends, right? He said something you didn't like it, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
told him like that's a good example.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We're not gonna get into no. We can say I could talk about it. Cause I'm embarrassed, but I could talk about it. My Spanish isn't the best. I'm still learning, and he was getting on my ass about um, hey man, like what the fuck, man? What's like your Spanish sucks that you've been here for this amount of time. I know what place it was coming from, like, cause he's one of my closer friends here.
Yeah,
But I don't like how it makes me feel. It makes me feel I'm
like
not being
dumb.
like dumb. I feel dumb. I'm not doing enough to like learn. Made me feel just like bad about myself essentially. And I told him I was like, look, man, like I don't appreciate you, like giving me that, like saying it like that. Like you could say it a whole different way. I understand where it's coming from, but it doesn't make me feel good. So like I had to let him know because when something doesn't make me feel good, I get sad, but my sad turns into madness, and so I didn't want to like click out on his ass. So
Yeah,
I had to be like honest with him, but he understood and he was open to hear it. That's another thing. The people on the other end that are receiving that criticism are receiving that like, hey, like I guess
I
you
don't
say
like what you
criticism.
said. Like yeah,
Yeah, like receiving the criticism, feedback,
the
whatever.
feedback.
They gotta be open and listen and like
And knowing it's not
silence the
about
ego a
them,
little
right?
bit. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about them. It's about how the other person how they feel and respect it. That's really it. I know it's harder for like everyone to just kind of like like silence themselves and just listen and like kind of like silence the ego a little bit. Don't let the ego get too. Cause I know that ego want to be like, man, shut the fuck up. I ain't no sin no But don't
Yeah.
don't just jump right to the madness. You know what I'm saying? Don't to the chaos. So yeah, I think that's important for setting boundaries as well. What you
Yeah,
think?
I feel it. I just said it's important, like how you say it, like when somebody hurts you, because I think your example is great because it's something like maybe for somebody else would be nothing, but for you especially because you're like having a whole journey in this Spanish thing is a sensible topic for you, and it's good to say it. Like say like man, like we can, because especially with your friends you can go like harder and harder in the jokes and then
Oh yeah,
so it's cool to say like look at me,
and you
like
can
we can
easily
joke
hurt.
about this, but it's like a boundary, no, it's a limit. Like don't joke over here because it's maybe something like touch me more, and because everybody has their own issues and have their own topics, like it's like I don't want to play with this.
Right, right.
So I like that because just knowing yourself, you're gonna know if you can joke with that or you can't joke with that. So also we gotta be careful because sometimes we can go too far, especially with the jokes. And other thing is like how you express. I always I always think it's a good way to express like this type of things especially like starting from ourselves, like saying like I feel that way. It's not just like you did wrong, man. Because if you say somebody, oh, you did wrong, you say this, they gonna take it also like an offense, or like you're like, attacking them. And they can also be like, oh, like, I don't know, it's a lot of people to say like, I don't know, I didn't say it with that intention, I don't know why you feel that way, or
Yeah.
like,
Like
or
I
like you're crazy, that
I
made
was
you
just
feel
trying to
like you're
touch your ass
crazy.
because I love you and you're so handsome and delicious. Like no, just because I look delicious don't mean you gotta touch. Sometimes you just gotta look, and appreciate like a flower. You know what I'm saying?
So back to what I was saying.
But no. What I was gonna say, I was gonna interrupt you there. But yeah, like this is, and if both parties are not open, say like one party is not open to like listen, like I don't agree on that boundary or something. Maybe you gotta reconsider this relationship that you have with this person, and maybe it's not, you know, your cup of tea.
Oh,
You
but
know,
in a couple.
couple friendship,
Oh,
whatever. It don't matter.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
it don't
Like,
matter.
but I think that was my whole goal,
Yeah.
because
Oh my
first
bad.
first you gotta be like tranquilo and tell the other person that makes you feel bad.
Right.
Okay, it wasn't his fault, maybe he wasn't aware, or she wasn't aware to that makes you feel bad, but you gotta like go and say, hey, stop, don't, without attacking. And the other person gotta be like open to understand, maybe they did something it wasn't that cool, right? And you say, don't be like, oh, I don't care about you, like, no, like defending yourself. Just listen, and say like, okay, if that thing it doesn't like you, okay, like I can change, bro, I don't know, like be open, as you said, like be open to communicate that. If it's not happen that way, because in the two parties can be problems, because persons can put boundaries sometimes really aggressive, like in
Yeah,
an
like
aggressive way.
bitch, stop touching my ass. Like
Okay, yeah.
that, something like that. I don't know. I'm just like being exaggerated,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah.
Or even people can fight, or like, or people can be mad at you, even sometimes, like happen with the friends, like you really don't know what you did with your friend, but maybe you say something, it really hurts them, and they just stop talking to you or stop fucking with you, and you didn't know what you did, because they never really tell you like, hey, what you did was
Oh, that's
wrong,
true.
and so both. So one person gotta be open to communicate that in a good way, in a calm, good way, and the other person can be like, gotta be open to the, because as those persons they're not open, they feel like they never did anything wrong. It's like,
Yeah,
I didn't did anything wrong. I don't know why you're acting like this. Like, and they're like defending, like,
exactly.
and that
Identify your
doesn't work
limits,
either.
ladies. Identify your limits, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And also, like, can boundaries change over time?
Yeah. I think it's important. Like maybe they can change for later. Maybe my baby's gonna let me touch his ass in a couple of years. We don't know.
She can touch my
Maybe.
ass. She just can't smack it. You know what I'm saying? That's my,
Maybe he can let me like slap a little bit. Who
especially,
knows?
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We'll
but
see.
boundaries really can change, and also you can put new boundaries with the time.
Yeah, no boundaries.
Yeah, just like be aware of like these boundaries you're putting to the other person. You're communicating better to the other person. It's not like trying to control that person because you have issues. Please,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I think
It's
boundaries are,
about you, not about
exactly.
them.
Boundaries are healthy. Like, healthy boundaries are great because I think they make the relationship, better.
Yeah,
And if y'all have y'all's boundaries established and their boundaries are respected, I think, man, y'all can go a long way. Y'all can go.
yeah,
There's no limit to y'all's friendship, relationship, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? There's no limit to that.
yeah.
Who knows? So like, I think it's important. I think, yeah, like, I don't know what else I was about to say.
You know,
But, yeah.
you know what I was thinking? I was thinking about you asked me like when you know it's a boundary and when you know you're controlling. I think that's a good way to knowing is boundaries is about yourself.
See,
And controlling is about the other. Like you're trying to control the action of somebody else. That's getting like, you know what I mean? For example, like you say, you don't like me, you don't like when you slap my butt, right? This is about you.
No, you don't like when I
Like I
slap.
can slap
Yeah.
the butts of my gatos. I don't know. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, but maybe it's a bad example. But but what I mean is like you don't telling me I gotta stop slapping at all. Like that part of myself is wrong. You just telling me not with me because I don't like that. You
Yeah, I
know
don't
what I
like that
mean?
shit.
That's the boundary there. Like because you don't like that, so I gotta like don't do that with you. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So yeah. Also, I think we can put boundaries about other stuff like if especially within the relationships, right? About I don't know, like things can make you feel jealous or insecure. I think maybe more than put a boundary to the other person to say don't do that because makes me feel insecure. Maybe they can like just not having communication and talk and check it out how they can like go through that emotion and what they need to feel better because I also feel like jealousy is something normal in a relationship even if people say I'm not jealous at all. I think it's normal. I don't think it's right or bad. I think it's just normal. And but I feel like a lot of times you just need a little bit more of how you say like secureness,
Yeah, like security.
like you feel good with your partner. You know,
Yeah,
when you feel like you can
like
trust your
trust.
partner. Is that like goes down a lot. So maybe it's not an issue of jealousy. Maybe it's issues with trust. So that's the reason because I feel boundaries can change with the time because maybe you just need therapy, more than like put a control on somebody else or on you.
So, what do we learn, ladies and gentlemen? That healthy boundaries are great in
Yeah,
relationships. Yeah, like go ahead and tap into that if you haven't
yeah.
already, and just be
And you
more
gotta
aware
let them know, okay?
and identify your limits and know thyself because know
Yeah.
thyself is the most important thing here in this life.
And don't be afraid to sharing your
Yeah,
boundaries
be
because they're
vulnerable.
important. They're important. You're important. Your boundaries are important. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable and tell because sometimes we feel like the other person gotta like guess
Yeah, we like to
everything.
be people
Mm-mm,
pleasers, so that's
mm-mm,
the one thing.
aha.
People pleasers. I used.
And holding the
Yeah,
emotions even when we don't like it. So
for sure.
better do communication and magic things will happen.
Exactly. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on another episode of Soul Cafe Podcast. Please subscribe to the channel,
Sure.
comment, share, tell a friend.
Yeah,
You
let
know what
us
I'm
know what
saying?
is a good boundary you think in a relationship.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And let us know if you want to hear another topic.
Yeah, absolutely. We're open to like whatever to talk about specifically that's gonna, you know, change this world more
Yeah.
better and better. But yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Peace and love.
Bye.